All right, so I've had a few people reach out to me wanting to find out a little bit more about this build and how the fans work, the lighting. So I figured I would do one last little quick video before the new inhabitants get here tomorrow and give you guys a little overview. So this enclosure is a 3-stack. The width is inside is 49 by 24 by 24. So, you know, it's right about that minimum size for Uromastyx. But it's, you know, these are going to be juvenile Geyri that are coming in tomorrow that are going in it. So it'll be plenty big enough for those until they, you know, reach a, you know, adult, sub-adult size to where I'll probably build something along the lines of this 8 by 2 by 2 double stack that I've got over here. But this enclosure, it kind of came together because I wanted to have something very functional and self-contained, kind of does everything on its own. So all the lights are on timers. They should work, you know, a lot or very similar to how all the other enclosures I have work. One of the biggest questions is about the fans. So those are computer fans. I've got one blowing in, one blowing out, and they have 3 speed settings. And what I've been able to do is use those to kind of regulate temperature. And, you know, I don't like stagnant air, you know, in a hot enclosure. So these kind of exchange air during the day as they're running. Now, they don't run all the time. They will run once it reaches a certain temperature if it stays above that temperature, but normally they won't kick on until we get to a certain temperature inside the enclosure. You can see that probe in there. That's for all 3. I'm using the one at top because, of course, heat rises, and you know, that enclosure kind of regulates all 3. So even though it runs just a couple degrees hotter than the 2 below it, I felt like that was, you know, the best place for the rheostat to go, or the thermostat probe. And this is the actual thermostat. It's kind of cool. It's iPower. You've got 2 outlets, one which I'm not using, and they call it heating. So if I wanted to put an additional bulb in there or additional bulbs in there and run them off of this to where they would kick on and you know, heat the enclosure faster or stronger, and then switch to cooling once it reaches a certain desired temperature, I could do that. I've got it set at 89. That's not you know, probably ideal at the moment, but for right now it's kind of where it kicks on at about 90 degrees, and then, you know, it stays above that. They won't kick off, but, you know, as the evening comes down, the temperature drops a little bit and they kick on. So far so good. It's not perfect, but so far it's working pretty good. Now this thing is on casters. I try to put all my enclosures on casters, so you can tell it's a pretty big enclosure. It's pretty heavy, but it rolls pretty easy. So basically, you know, just one hand, lightly pulling. Some of the wiring, I still got to get in there and clean some of it up a little bit. You know, use some tie straps to get it cleaned up, but you can't see it. You know, I try to leave about a 2.5, 3-inch gap for the fans, so they'll have plenty of airflow. So yeah, it works pretty good. Temperature-wise, I've been changing lights, moving lights around, different wattages, you know, to get the basking spots perfect, or as perfect as can be, for the last week. And I've got it dialed in pretty good. I mean, is it absolutely perfect all the time? Probably no. But, you know, they're reptiles. They move around. They regulate. They can go from one side to the other. The ambient temperature in there in the middle of the day is about, you know, low 90s. Right now I think it's about 91, which is, you know, optimal for these lizards, Uromastyx. You know, the big basking light gets about 110 to 120, and you got a smaller one that's down in the, you know, the 80s, maybe in the low 90s. So, and then there's other places to bask. So it's pretty cool. I'll probably have to do a little bit more work to it and get it just right, but so far so good. And so yeah, this new enclosure is going to house 3 Uromastyx Geyri from Josh Markey that are the ones he's been working with the past few years. They're het for Lavender Albino. It's kind of one of those projects I've kind of followed and watched and had the opportunity, and Josh worked with me to come on board and work with those, so I'm really excited about it. I don't keep many animals anymore, just my flobbies over here. Got ornate here and a couple other animals in other rooms, but really excited about this project. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys, and I'll add some more video tomorrow when they arrive, putting them in to the end of this video, and hope this answered any of those questions. All right, so it's Wednesday, March 6th. Just got back from FedEx, picking up the trio. Literally just put them in their cages, so they're warming up. So this is the male Uromastyx Geyri, het for Lavender Albino. Closer. They were a little bit cold, so probably take them a minute to warm up. So there's the little male. Get out of here. There's female number 1. Same thing, literally 5 minutes. Just came out of the bag and getting some rays and warming up. Kind of like statues at the moment. They don't know what's going on. They flew out of Tucson last night and got to Texas this morning. And female number 3. Oh yeah, eyes closed, soaking up the rays. So, they made it. All 3 of them look extremely healthy and super excited to have them. My guy's, I mean, he is really, really nice. Not that I'm partial, but anyway, so there's the enclosure. All 3 inhabitants in. Time to get settled in. Peace.